It's happening. We're live, guys. Welcome to the Just the Tip live stream chat show, comedy show. Just the Tip meaning you should give us your money. There's a way to give us your money. It should be listed in the comments. If not, I'm gonna do it right now. Venmo.com/ oh, it's on the screen. I'm a silly boy. But Venmo.com CBKS Tour, Comedy Special Secret Tour, and Zelle Cash App, and that phone number. If you want, or you can just text me nudes. That also counts as payment these days. So I'm glad we're here. Happy 4th of July to anybody in the U.S. that's watching. We appreciate you. I just want to implore the other people involved in this discussion to retweet and reshare if they have the opportunity to do so now on Twitter and on Facebook. If you're having a good time, also when you're watching, you can also reshare there as well. I'm going to retweet myself. There we go. It happened. It's happening. Retweet. And then I'm going to reshare it on Facebook. Well, I guess I don't have to. We'll do that later. Welcome to the show. We're going to go around the circle here. All the way from London, England, Estella Bathory. Top corner.
Hey.
You are a celebrated porn actress. And I'm happy to have you here. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
What? I'll just start off with this question. So porn stars have like a huge following on the social media. That's one of the reasons why I decided the Porn Stars Are People podcast would have been a good idea. I found out eventually that nobody cares if you're not a porn star about interviewing porn stars to reshare your stuff. But have you been trolled in your experience on social medias by anyone famous?
Oh God, yes. Yes. My favorite one was when Ron Jeremy called me out on Twitter, and then all his fans attacked me.
It was like, what do you mean called you out? It was like official call out? What does that mean? What happened?
Yeah, well, it wasn't like nothing really happened. Like I've never met him or anything like that. I kind of started it. Like I sent him a stupid tweet. I don't know why. I replied to something just saying, "Okay, boomer." It was just like a bit of a weird tweet. Like,
and you were calling him a baby boomer?
No. Yes. That's what it's referring to. That generation. Yeah. But like at the time, that was a phrase people were using a lot. You know.
Yeah.
To just like discount the older generation.
I see. Well, what was his basic opinion? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was this tweet. He was like shutting down a rumor. There was a Photoshop picture of him and Ivanka Trump, and he posted that and was like, "This is photoshopped. I've never met her." Blah blah blah. He was just debunking a rumor and clearing his name. So really, it was not my place to then call him a boomer at all. Right. I don't really know what came over me. It just kind of happened. And then I completely forgot about it. And the next day, I come online and Ron Jeremy had quote tweeted me saying, "This is not the correct use of the word boomer. I didn't say anything not woke." And he is correct. He's completely correct.
I like that he was being like a grammar Nazi about it. That's
he fully corrected me. And then he ended it with, "Okay, Estella," in capital letters.
That's always how they get you, is they just say your name back to you. That's deadly.
I mean, that's how you win an argument.
Yeah. Whatever you say, name of person.
Yeah. I didn't say anything back until this week. I decided to go back to it and retweet it again saying, "Okay, rapist." Because
there you go.
Because he's in the news this week. He's in court.
So that just goes to show that if you're in a Twitter battle with Estella Bathory, it never may end.
Just wait.
It may never end. I love that. Yeah. I think there's something great about the fact that you call him a boomer and it took him like 2 days to respond to your tweet, which kind of confirms that he is a boomer. He's like, I should probably check. It's like Tuesday. I check all of my tweets on Tuesdays.
And he dissected my argument completely as well. Yeah.
Well,
which is a very boomer thing to do on the internet.
But it's also like if you're guilty, like that's a good way to do it. Is that you become a grammar Nazi instead. You're like, listen, it's your, not your, okay. And yes, I did do all of the terrible things that you said I did. Well, thank you for being here. And thank you. Is this for show or is it actually cold enough to wear fur in England right now?
No, it's for show. I just feel cool when I wear it.
I think you look cool.
When I'm at home. Yeah.
I think you look very cool. And then on to someone who's never been cool, bottom corner. Give it up for the comedian in New York City, Freddy G.
Oh man, yeah. When I went to the same high school as Ron Jeremy. Yeah, he's our only famous alum, and now he's canceled.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Not at the same time. I'm not a boomer, so yeah.
Now, why was it like widely known? Or is this like
a couple people would tell us?
But it wasn't. He didn't like have a plaque in the school.
No, yeah. That would be funny if he had like a statue and then we had to like ceremonially take it down.
Yeah.
You had to rip down his statue from your high school.
Oh
It's never. It's funny because there was like my high school. There was always a rumor that one of the teachers did porn in secret. Mm-hmm. But I like that yours was a guy that went to your high school did porn in public.
So public.
Because it just proves that every high school has that same rumor floating around, and sometimes it's true. So I don't know how to say this without, you're very Jewish.
Oh yeah. I'm very Jewish looking.
Well, so that makes people think things about you that maybe aren't true. Like the way, like, do you observe kosher?
No, I don't. Yeah, that's the weird thing. It's like one time I was in a green room at like a comedy club and I was eating. When I started keto, I would carry ham around with me. So I had something to snack on that was keto. I didn't have to buy any carbs. And one guy was like, "Do you want some Chinese food?" And I said, "No, I'm eating this ham. I don't want Chinese food." And he's like, "Oh, you just don't want to eat it because it's not kosher." And I'm like, "I'm eating ham. I'm clearly not kosher."
Right.
And he said, "Freddie, a full of ham. You have resting kosher face."
That's what I love about people. Like when people like think that you're on a particular diet, they won't have any other information about the diet other than what it's called and the three things that like they read somewhere once. So they're like, "Oh, I don't understand. Like you're on keto, so you just eat chicken? You just eat chicken all the time." Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, they're like, "Why is there not bacon covered in cheese in your mouth at this second? Aren't you guys eating that 24/7?"
Right.
Like, no, you can't eat 24/7 no matter what diet you're on.
Right. Correct. But it is funny because I don't know that most people know any of the kosher rules.
People know ham. Also, that's the one that made it to Islam. Islam came a little bit after Judaism, and they kept the ham one. So that one's a little more widely publicized. Yeah.
They kept the ham one? Is that what you said?
Yeah, no ham in Islam either.
They're
like, the rest of it's BS, but we'll keep the no ham thing.
Yeah. I would argue nobody should eat ham.
Oh, so great. I love ham.
Yeah, what's your problem with ham?
Yeah, you're a rabbi now or something?
What's going on?
No, it's just a gross it's just a gross void meat. And also like the way that we get it, it's like ham's sort of one of those ones where like they've like taken it and reconstituted it. It's not like there's no part of the pig that they've taken. Like a leg of lamb or like a pork loin, like that's from the animal. They've reconstituted this into some other like weird shaped thing with a fake bone in the middle. The color doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Oh, okay. So you're saying pork or bacon over ham. Okay, gotcha.
For sure. Yeah. If it came up the animal, I can get down. But if you made it in kind of made it in a lab, all those deli meats.
Yeah, it's like it's evolved since its death into a new creation.
Yeah, they made it into a weird paste and then they squirted it back into a shape. And I'm not sure that that's the way we should eat anything.
If you crap on ribs, I'm lying.
He's like, don't crap on ribs, though.
That's the only good food I have left. When you're keto, you have to give up everything else. But ribs is still good.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into your keto a little further if you want. I have plenty to say. Bottom left corner, I have Masood Boomgaard from Durban, South Africa. Durban being the if there's a trifecta of South Africa, Durban being the bottom of the trifecta. Very beautiful place, but very little known place in South Africa. Thank you for being here.
No, thanks for having me, man. I'm digging the beard. I told you earlier in lockdown.
Honestly.
It just happened. We've been having a unspoken beard challenge.
We're having a beard off. Yeah, no, I've been telling people about it. You haven't been looking at my tweets. I've been challenging you for months.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you. So one of the big like stereotypes about anybody in comedy who's from any sort of brown, Indian, otherwise background is that the choices were basically comedy and doctor. Did you have that kind of upbringing?
Yes. In fact, now more than ever in lockdown, my dad still grudges me for not becoming a doctor because then I would have at least been essential. Right. In fact, when we were completely locked down, he came past my room and he saw me and he said, you at home? You at home today? You at home? I'm like, yeah, I can't go anywhere. We under lockdown. I'm not essential. He's like, I know. And that hurt more than it. That hurt more than it should have, you know?
Right. He set you up for the bait. I like that. I like that your father's so advanced in his insults now that he's making them two-parters.
Yeah, no, you know, funny you mentioned that because he actually there was a comedy book missing from my bookshelf. So he's been bored as fuck, right?
Yeah.
So he's been reading anything he can get his hands on. So I think he's probably been reading my comedy book, so he can insult me more, effectively.
Wait, just to be clear, you're talking about it's a book that someone wrote that has the basis of comedy, or it's your jokes that you put?
No. It's like a manual. It's like the basis of comedy. Yeah.
I like that. I like that that he's getting better throughout the quarantine. Like not everybody's doing that. He's in lockdown and he's in the back studying.
Yeah. No, I think he's like, you know what? I think he's challenging himself. He's like, you know what? I'm sure anybody can do this. I mean, what's the big deal about this whole comedy thing? You know, I'm sure if I just read a book or something, I can do this. I mean, what Masood does can't be that important and difficult, right? I mean, any idiot can do it.
Well, he's not wrong. Look at this crew we got here. Well, thank you for being here. Well, let me. I don't have this information because I was in South Africa 3 times, and none of those times corresponded with your independence. What's your big fireworks holiday? This is our big fireworks holiday in the U.S. Do you have a big fireworks holiday, or is that too?
We don't really have. No, it's fireworks are kind of controversial in South Africa.
Sure,
there's been like a push to get them banned. So there's a lot of opposition to it. But generally, you hear fireworks on New Year's Eve. And the Hindu holiday Diwali.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
so it's not just white people that like fireworks. Indian people like fireworks as well.
Indian people love fireworks too.
You know who hates fireworks? My dog.
Who?
Oh, dogs, yeah.
She's not a fan. I didn't know that this was a thing. I didn't know that you're not supposed to bring a dog to fireworks. So the first time I ever had a 4th of July after I got my dog, I brought her to the fireworks, and she became the greatest athlete of all time. She was like 8 pounds, but she jumped a 6-foot fence and just tried to bail. She was like, I don't even want to be your dog anymore. She's like, she should have known that this is not real. It was quite a difficult evening of my life. And then once the fireworks start, you can't go anywhere. So I just had to hold her while she tried to attack me and bite me because she was freaking out. So that was my first mistake as a dog owner.
Do the animal rights people in the States not freak out about fireworks? Do they not picket against it?
It's not a discussion. No, I don't know why. I don't know why we're so obsessed with fireworks. Freddie, do you have a thought?
I think it might happen. I think he's given us. It's going to come to us. They're probably ready. They're probably like, oh, they're doing this in South Africa. Let's do this here. Yeah, I can see that happening in the future.
I think we should ban everything fun. That's what I think. What's the big England fireworks holiday?
Guy Fawkes Night.
Guy Fawkes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 5th of November.
Do you know what's fucked up? Do you know what's fucked up? The only reason I know that is because I saw the movie V for Vendetta with Natalie Portman.
Yeah, of course. It's referenced in that. Yeah. Otherwise, would you know? Has word traveled? No, fair enough. I mean, it's
I lived in England for that period of time. I lived there the first time. It was an October to December situation, and it never reached me. It was August. It was August to December, and it never reached me that was happening.
Fuck. Yeah, it's the anniversary of when someone tried to blow up Parliament.
Right? Yeah. Why is that?
I'm not sure why that's a celebration. Yeah, surely that's a bad thing.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's a warning to everyone.
Jews.
Go ahead, saying Freddie.
We got a holiday called Purim. It was that the king of Persia, he wanted to kill all the Jews, and then he was like, "Oh wait, my wife's Jewish. I'm not going to do it."
Did he just realize he was Jewish?
He's like, "I'm gonna kill everybody but my wife."
Yeah.
But I do like that idea. We all kind of want to kill our spouse, right? I don't have one, but I can relate. So I like the idea that the fun loophole to kill your wife is you're no, all the Jews got to go. I mean, they all got to go, including this bitch in my house.
You don't have one anymore.
It's the long game, that is.
That's every time I tell that joke is I lose a girlfriend. Okay, so wait, Masood. So wait, your family structure is like you're not married, you don't have a girlfriend, as far as I know. But you're living with family, or more. They're living with you. Is that where you're at?
Yeah. Pretty much. It's the brown guilt.
You take everybody in. Most successful gets the biggest house, and everybody moves in.
Yeah, well, basically, this is my dad's house, and he can't pay for it anymore. So I've kind of like just taken on the responsibility. So it has had
It's
its
like
perks,
a reverse hand me down. He's like, here, take over my payments.
Exactly. That's what it was. Yeah,
we're gonna pass down the payments generation to generation.
You're the alpha now.
Yeah, do you get to say all kinds of weird dad shit? Do you get to be like, I pay for these lights?
It sounds essential to me, to be honest.
I do get to say some of the shit that he used to say 30 years ago. Like, if we get a big power bill, I'll be like, you know what? Let them just cut it. Let them just cut this bill. I'm not paying this shit. Let them just cut it. I'm done with this.
Do you say things like do you say things like I'm not air conditioning the whole neighborhood?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do like throw small tantrums when they leave taps open and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go ahead. All right, so I'm just looking over the thing that I prepared and realized it's very 4th of July like specific, and half of the panel is not from the US, so I apologize. So I wanted to do a Mary Bang Kill, and I hate it when it's like inanimate objects. So I have one that's people, but they're all America important, and then the other one is just inanimate objects. So let's start with inanimate objects. Mary Bang Kill, fireworks, boats, and barbecues. Which again, that's all U.S. stuff that we try to do on July 4th. In any order, whoever's ready: fireworks, boats, and barbecues. Mary Bang Kill.
Bang fireworks.
Kill.
Okay, bang fireworks.
That's it.
Do your whole thing.
That's what I'm doing. I won't be doing much after that. I'll be in hospital with severe burns.
Fair enough. Mary Bang Kill, fireworks, boats, barbecues. Freddy.
Oh, okay, yeah. Definitely want to marry that barbecue, man. Those barbecue ribs, favorite food. Yeah, mentioned it twice already. Very good. Boat. I want to have sex on a boat. Yeah, I'll bang the boat. I mean, ideally, there's a person there too. Yeah, but the boats, I'm still touching the boat. So yeah, bang the boat, and yeah, we'll kill somebody with fireworks. That's exciting.
You kill somebody with fireworks. So I like that you're using it as like the game of Clue. You're like, it's me in the bedroom with a firework. That's great.
Good. Hell of a sequel. Michael Bay directs that one. Yeah.
Masood, fireworks, boats, barbecue, Mary Bang Kill.
I'll kill the boats. I'm not big on boats.
Really?
Yeah, which is odd because like my ancestors came to South Africa from India on boats.
Yeah.
And I think that was the last boat ride any of us wanted after that.
I could see where you're coming from.
Yeah, Indian people in South Africa don't like boats. We're done with boats. We did one boat ride, that's it. So kill boats. I'll definitely marry the barbecue, like Freddy said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Or let's make it South Africa specific and call it a braai.
A braai. Yeah, it's a new word you guys learned tonight. Braai. 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 And what's the last one?
Fireworks.
Fireworks. Oh yeah. I'll bang the fireworks. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's a good call.
Actually, what I'm picturing is something cheesy. Like you banging while there's fireworks. Like at Disneyland. Obviously, out of view of kids.
Yeah, that's one of the ones, right? Like there's like sex on the beach. There's like having sex in your parents' bed. I've never had sex during fireworks. That seems like actually a one that should be a thing.
It's a bucket list. Yeah, it should be on the bucket list.
Estella, is that a thing? Do you think there's a paradigm to have sex during fireworks?
I'm sure there is. There has to be.
I'm asking Estella.
What do you guys think?
She's the pro.
Well, maybe you'll find out this weekend. It's firework weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, but I'm spending it with my family. So I better not bang anybody in my family.
You just said you wanted to bang someone in your parents' bed.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things you're supposed to do, right? As a kid.
I mean, that sounds weird, but
really, that's not one you've heard, Freddie. Have you ever wanted to have sex in your parents' bed because it was a no-no?
Yeah, so forbidden. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, also anywhere I can get it, I'll take it. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
We're not gonna be.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's a fetish. I think it's more like out of necessity you might do it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Banging your parents better.
You're not supposed to. That's the whole thing. All right, boats,
Mm.
fireworks, barbecue. I will marry the barbecue so I can have it all the time, whenever I want and when I don't want. Based on necessity and certain holidays. On anniversary barbecue, obviously, I'm gonna have to like go down. And then boats, I would boats. Yeah, boats. I would. I'd bang a boat. I'll bang a boat. I like that. I like that. I think that's a good call. Boats are sexy. Boats are sexy. And then I guess that leaves me killing fireworks. And I think I could go without fireworks. I always like forget to go see the fireworks. And I have FOMO for a second, but then I'm like, it's not that fun anyway.
I've got this theory. Every fireworks show you've ever seen is the exact same, and we just don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I couldn't name you one right now. How are you
no
going to kill them, though? Are you going to set them on fire?
What I like is funny is a couple of you guys banged fireworks, and for sure there are people in the U.S. who have put fireworks in their butt and shot them off. So it's not out of the realm.
It's a free country.
Yeah,
it's a free country. All right. So while we're talking about fireworks, let's do this. Invent a firework shape, sound, or color scheme. Right. That's the big thing lately. Is sometimes they open up and instead of being the weird like splattery like willow tree thing, sometimes it's like a square for some reason. Sometimes like an ice cream cone. What would you, if you could invent a firework? If you had any firework knowledge, invent a firework shape, sound, or color scheme once it goes off. What would you think?
I wanted to turn into my hair. Yeah, I got this Jew fro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look like a human firework, honestly.
Thank you, baby. I'm a firework. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I like the option of silent fireworks.
Sure.
Because the acoustics aren't really that important, right? The sound of it, because they all sound the same, really speaking. Right? I can do without the sound.
Yeah. I like. Well, the thing I like, sorry to cut you off. The thing I like about the sound is like there's always, you don't know that the fireworks over until the sound, and then you can move on with your life. So you hear the then when it goes up, right? And then sometimes you see it because light travels faster than sound, and then you hear it. So then once you hear it, you go, okay, cool, it's done. It's like it's like the cum shot of the firework, you know? So if you remove that, I think you lose some element of it.
Maybe
like lightning and then thunder.
Yeah.
Maybe the firework could be silent, and at the end of the firework, there could be like a cum shot pattern in the sky, so you know it's over.
Sure. You could argue that that's what fireworks are anyway. Like that's where the idea came from. Was dudes were like, you know what? How do I blow my load as big as possible? And this is all we came up with.
What if a firework just lets you know when it's finished? So instead of a massive bang, it just says, I'm done. That was very nice.
I've finished whenever you're ready.
Yeah. The firework lets you finish first.
Yeah.
I like that. Whenever you're ready, you can finish. All right. Well, let's do a dad joke. I love these, and it's like one of the things that is left of comedy is that you can do a dad joke to nobody on your Instagram story. So I have a dad joke, and then you guys, I'm inviting you guys all to tell us a dad joke. Mine is a woman is on trial for beating her husband to death with his guitar collection. So the judge says to her, first time offender? And she says, no, first was a Gibson, then a Fender. That's my dad joke. Dad jokes, anybody, at will.
You know what's odd?
Say again?
Do you know what's odd?
No, what's odd?
Every other number.
That's a great one.
That's a good one, isn't it?
It really is a great one.
Yeah. This is a classic. Why 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9.
Classic.
Have you heard the Yoda version of that one?
Oh God.
Do it.
I can't do it because it's backwards and my brain doesn't function that way. But it's
Google it.
I'm gonna Google it and we'll figure it out. Yeah. Yoda. Masood, dad joke.
Like a one-liner, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I tried heroin once. It was peer pressure. I didn't want to, but my friends kept on needling me.
Great.
That's a bad dad joke.
Oh,
Like a
no,
biker dad.
Yeah, that's inappropriate.
So okay, so it's because why is no, that doesn't work either. I was looking it up and it was supposed to be it was supposed to be why is Yoda afraid of 7? Why, according to Yoda, why is 5 afraid of 7? And it just says because 6, 7, 8. But it would be why is 6 afraid of 7 according to Yoda because 6, 7, 8. Right? Because 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, why is 7? Why is 6?
Or
Oh yeah.
Why? Because 7, 8. I don't. Now I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I get dumber every time I try to translate in Yoda. All right, moving on. Mary Bankill, Betsy Ross, Paul Revere, Francis Scott Key. Do my foreigners know who any of those people are?
Who are these people? No.
Betsy Ross. Betsy Ross technically made one of our flags or our current flag, but there's some controversy there. Paul Revere was the guy who was like, "Hey, the British are about to attack us," but he literally said the British are coming. But I also don't think he said that. This is what's great about American history is all the things that supposedly existed are not real either. So supposedly Paul Revere said, "Hey, the British are coming," and he was on the thing, and we're like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah.
And then Francis Scott Key wrote the Star Spangled Banner, which is our song.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I Wikipedia these people.
Yeah.
So Betsy, what's her name? Betsy
Ross.
Betsy Ross.
Yeah.
So I'll bang her.
Yeah.
As opposed to marry her because she was married about 4 times, so she doesn't keep husbands around. Okay.
Okay. So she might have some moves.
Yeah, she's DTF. Okay.
What's the A? DTF. Oh,
DTF.
A. Oh. I thought you were saying down to anal.
Then there's the guy who the anthem guy that I'll kill him.
Why?
I don't look, it's veterans list. I don't want to talk about your anthem, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh, it's good. No, I like the idea though that like if if I had a time machine, like that somebody hates the Star Spangled Banner so much, and he's like, if I had a fucking time machine, I would go back and kill Francis Scott Key, so he'd have a different song. I hate the Star Spangled Banner. That's funny.
And then the last one is Maddie. I'll marry Paul Revere because he sounds like a caring guy. I mean,
sure.
He rode through the night to save a bunch of people, and
yeah.
And then after he became a hero, he didn't like live that rock star life, right? He went back to his silversmith shop and lived a quiet life, So you want to settle down with a guy like that.
Yeah, and he can make you whatever you need in silver.
Yeah. Interestingly, there's a hero in South African history that did the exact same thing. He rode to the guy's name was Dick King. Dick King was his name, and he rode also to warn the rebels of the British.
What was his catchphrase?
He didn't have a catchphrase.
Oh, you got to say something. Like, what did he say? You have to say something, right?
No, we didn't write down what nobody recorded that. He just apparently just went out. Yeah.
So okay, so write his catchphrase then. What would he have said?
I wonder what he would have said. We're fucked. I don't know.
Who was coming? Who was coming? The Afrikaners? Who was coming?
No, the British. The British.
Oh, the British were coming.
Yeah.
So just say the British are coming in any South African dialect, and I'm happy.
The British are coming.
Not an accent. Fair enough.
The British are coming is what they call bukkake in England.
That's my Lethal Weapon 2 villain accent. Those villains in Lethal Weapon were Afrikaners. Did you know that?
Yeah. Oh, no matter what you say at the end, you just have to say diplomatic immunity.
Diplomatic immunity.
Freddie, Betsy Ross, Paul Revere, Francis Scott Key, Mary Bankill.
Killing Betsy Ross. She owned slaves. Jim Wright didn't make it yet.
She's going to be canceled eventually anyway, right?
Yeah. Bang and Paul Revere. Dude knows when to leave. You know what I mean? And he'll come quick, he'll leave. It's good. Then Francis Scott Key is based on the song. He's a hopeless romantic.
Yeah,
he'd be good. We could cuddle. Yeah, afterwards. Yeah. Marry Francis Scott Key. Very romantic life we have.
I like it. Mary Bankill, Estella. Do you?
Okay, so I just Googled Paul Revere, and
Yeah.
I just found out that he sometimes worked as an amateur dentist,
Okay.
which piqued my interest. So I'm going to marry him.
Yeah.
Because
That's
I need
what you want. If you have a
like,
toothache, you want an amateur digging around in there.
yeah, and also I need my wisdom teeth taken out, but I want to keep them. So I don't want to go to the dentist that's going to throw them away. So I
had it last week. I was thinking about it afterwards. They drug you up and they make you leave so that you never ask them what happened to my teeth. It's not fair.
I need them. I need them. I've been putting it off for like a year because I'm like, I am not doing it. Like someone is going to throw them in the bin.
Why do you want them? You want to like put them on a necklace like a weird cannibal?
Yeah, I've always wanted them. I've always wanted them. I don't know.
I woke up in the middle of my procedure twice.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always the joke that I heard, was that like dentists don't really know and oral surgeons don't really know how to like administer anesthesia. And I thought it was a joke, but it was very real. I woke up, I had 4 taken out, and I woke up on the bottom left and the bottom right. But what it feels like, and I don't know if this is a fact at all, or if this was my brain because I was on heavy drugs, what it feels like is they harpoon it and then the harpoon opens and then they pull it out that way. So I don't think the tooth is intact by the time it leaves your mouth.
Oh, no.
There are some different ways they can do it, because sometimes also they just cut off the top and they'll leave the root in there, because some people find that they get they get some jaw problems from the whole bit being removed because it's quite a large cavity that they leave. Yeah, I'm sure Paul Revere could tell you all about it. I mean, you should.
Yeah, sorry, I got infatuated. Okay, so then who are you?
Who am I fucking? This is the
banging
important.
and killing.
Okay.
I changed it to be friendly. It's a bang, not a fuck.
Okay. Yeah, Francis Scott Key, like, he looks all right on Google Images here, and I'm a sucker for a musician.
He's a songwriter.
I can't find. Yeah, exactly. He's romantic. Betsy Ross, I couldn't find that much information about. Like, she didn't sound particularly interesting to me.
We know she could sew.
I don't need that. She's off. She's going in the bin, mate. Like,
I don't need that.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry the crazy like amateur dentist.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you got it all figured out. Based on your guys' answers, I'm going to I'll bang Francis Scott Key for the romance. I will and hopefully he writes a song about me. It's like 1700s Taylor Swift. And then Paul Revere. I guess I'll marry Paul Revere. Yeah, because whether or not you believe that snitching is the correct thing to do, he's always like up on the hot goss. You know, he knows what's going on. So I can be informed ahead of time. And then I guess I'll kill Betsy Ross because I'm a purist of the game, and that's all that's left.
Yeah.
Freddie. Comedy has become this, right? We're all sort of in our own home prisons trying to do comedy, but you actually did comedy at a prison.
Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, before. Yeah, I went to Rikers, did comedy writers. Wasn't good. The thing with it is like, look at me, right? Like, they just felt bad for me. Yeah. I'm like, but I get to leave. And they're like, we'd rather be in prison than look like Wendy's version of Jared from Subway. Yeah, that was, they destroyed me. So then I was like, I got to get out of here. Usually after a bad set, you leave. But like, I basically just tried to escape from a prison that I was visiting. It was, it was quite the incident.
I like the idea that if the set goes so bad, they're like, you know what, you're gonna have to stay. Actually, that's the new punishment, is that you live at prison now. Masood, you came to the U.S. You came to New York. What was it? About a year ago? Was that what it was? Last July?
Yeah, last July we did that show for the veterans.
This is our anniversary of that show. What was that experience like? Tell me about what happened.
Yeah, man, New York is always amazing. You know, I've been there a couple of times. On the last occasion that you're talking about, that I was there, it was quite weird because of everything that was happening, you know, politically with Trump and, you know, immigration and all of those things. And I remember the first day I got to the States, a friend of mine texted me who lives in New York and said, hey, just please stay safe and make sure you carry your passport with you at all times. I said, why? I said, no, because ICE is doing raids and you don't want to get, you know, have done, and I was like, that's weird, man. I mean, and I have shit luck, right? So I carried my passport because I knew the last thing I wanted was to get caught up in all these things that have nothing to do with me, ICE and immigration and all that. And brown people, we look the same to to ICE, and they'll catch me on the streets, and they would have been like, "Hey, you, let's see your come over here, let's see some papers, and I won't have anything on me, and I'll be like, sorry, you need to understand, I left my passport in the hotel room. I'm from South Africa, and I'll be like, yeah, right, Carlos, and I guess back to Mexico I never came from. So
I told you all you got to do is just say diplomatic immunity at the end of that interaction, and you're good.
Yeah.
That's what that's the warmth that I have with this beard is that I've never had to leave the house and see what New York City Police Department thinks of this beard, because I haven't had to leave yet. So it's going to be interesting.
You look very Iranian.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a positive or negative. I'm gonna take this.
You got a very Tehran look about you.
Going back around the circle, the coronavirus has spiked again in the U.S., proving forever that we're the greatest. The U.S. we're the best at everything. There's you can't beat us in anything. How many cases in South Africa? Like 100,000? Like
144,000.
Yeah, you guys, it's pitiful. It's pitiful. We
don't even make the top 20.
So let's do this. If the U.S. could be number one in something that is actually good, what would it and should it and could it be? Anyone at will.
I want to win the most Winter Olympic. We always win the Summer Olympics. Let's win the Winter Olympics. Okay.
Why? What is that? You think it's valuable?
I love the way it's so weird. The Winter Olympics. Yeah, it's just white people who no one else does the sport, so I'm going to dominate it.
Right. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. When's the last time a black person won the figure skating gold?
Yeah, let's start a sky. If we get the rinks in the right neighborhoods, they can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. The rinks in the right neighborhood. One more time.
Simone Biles, the gymnast. If you put skates in her and give her a year, she could do pretty well.
Hell yeah.
That ability.
I believe it. It's not a lot of glory in winning figure skating gold. I think that's the problem. And the outfits are very limiting. Estella, what would you like the U.S. to be number one in?
Well, the U.S. is one of few countries that has some pretty cool animals up in the northernmost states, like moose are there, that I'm a really big fan of. Yeah. They're also over in Scandinavia, but I've never seen one in the wild. I've gone looking before. And I just think the US could perhaps work on that a little bit more. Maybe bring them out a bit more often. Bring them to the forefront. I'd like to see them around more.
Yeah, the most there's all the big animals are sort of slept on, right? Honestly, those are the most powerful animals that we fear the most. Elephants, rhinos, hippos. There's all these fun hippo facts. Pretty much, it sounds like nobody could win in a fight against a hippo. And moose are kind of the same vibe. It's moose,
they're really big. They're 7 feet tall.
They're huge. They're because of the height, they're taller than a car. So the big fact in Maine is if you hit a moose, it destroys your car and it breaks your neck because you'll hit it and then it'll fall on top of the body of the car.
Yeah, I want to see more of that.
I like that. You're not wrong. I think we should honor more moose in the U.S. I think that's. I
want to see a YouTube channel that's just moose fights.
Just moose fights, sure.
Yeah, perfect. Great idea.
Yeah, we should call that Bum Fights guy. See if he'll put together the Moose Fights website.
Yeah.
And we're bums no longer PC, but moose fighting each other is just nature.
Yeah.
Perfect. You're American. Get it going. Come on.
Let's do this. Moosefights.com, guys. All right. Masood, what do you think the U.S. is or should be number one in?
Do you know when you sent the homework out? I can't understand. I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything that That you're number one.
It's fine. I had the luxury of not having to think of anything either.
I just thought that off the top of my head so fully.
I think peacemongering should be number one in peacemongering.
Yeah, that's like a weird oxymoron, isn't it?
Yeah, there's such a thing as peacemongering. What you are the best at right now is, I would say, the top of my head, junk food, porn, and Karens. You'll have the best Karens in the world right now, hands down.
Yeah.
So our South African Karens don't come anywhere near American Karens, and you should be proud of that.
You know, I'm trying to understand why, because the Karen vibe, I feel like you guys started the Karen vibe, because there really was, like, there was an ability to be openly prejudiced in South Africa for a long time. But now, it's like, but there was no, like, the justification was horrible things. So it was like, okay, like, obviously you're racist and you're dumb, so that's whatever. But now here, our Karens are like, they're entitled based on no real information and no real ideology. It's just like, it shouldn't be like that. I was doing a video in front of a trash can at this in a parking lot, and the woman yelled out the window that I couldn't be there because it was private property. This is your trash. I'm videoing your trash. Why does this affect you? She called the cops, and the cops came and they're like, yeah, we don't care. You can continue to film. But it was like, it was the craziest Karen moment.
Crazy, dude. Yeah. Making videos of trash. Yeah, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, well, that's my career. That's what it's become. As I use a backdrop of a trash can to make me look better, but comparatively. It's like what people do on their Tinder bios. You know what I mean? They'll put a picture of an ugly person next to them so that they look better by comparison. I did send you guys homework that was about roasting U.S. presidents and the forefathers. I thought that would be fun. Did anybody care to roast any of the forefathers?
I'll try.
I had a fun one. I always thought, I found this out when I was doing the homework, was they always thought that George Washington is a big thing, that his dentures were made out of wood. Turns out they're not. They were made out of walrus tusk and slave teeth. That's real. That's a real thing. It's also the reason why I don't feel comfortable singing Ebony and Ivory in public.
Yeah. George Washington also, I found out that he started a civil war when he was 22 or something.
Yeah. He started.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous. Go back to school.
Yeah. He actually, I think as a matter of fact, I think he accidentally, like, he's like known as one of the greatest generals of all time, but one of the things that he started, all of his people died. And
right.
They were just like, oh, that's like an unlucky first try. You know, it's like, oh, it's learning. You can't win every game of chess. Like, you're going to lose a couple games. You got to break a couple eggs and kill a couple 100,000 soldiers to become a good general.
Yeah, like he's like Eli Manning, but he's like the quarterback who wins a lot of Super Bowls, but isn't that good at the statistics. Like, you put George Washington up against Napoleon's destroying him.
Right.
Yeah, like, he's not on paper just won the big game.
Napoleon's got way more rings.
Oh, but yeah.
I thought this was fun. Apparently, 2 of James Madison's vice presidents died in office, and nobody ever questioned it. So people always spend all the time about, like, talking about how he's the 4th president, but I like to think of him as the first Michael Peterson.
Maybe a Washington.
Go ahead.
Sorry, another Washington thing. He freed his slaves when he died, but for when his wife would die. So then they got worried they had to free them early because they were worried the slaves were going to kill Martha, because the slaves found out that.
They thought they're going to kill Martha?
Yeah, you don't want, you don't want to tell your slaves that they're going to be free when you die, because then the slaves won't kill you.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's a fun flex. I like that. I also like that. That's I wonder if that was like, because wills were left to like surviving family members and wives and things like that. I wonder if there was any like great big like Jeff Bezos, Tiger Woods divorces back in that day. Like, you divorce and then you get like 40 slaves. That'd be like that'd be a fun statistic.
Oh,
yeah, 100%.
That probably did happen.
I feel like there was no divorces in 1776. There was just a lot of like, you just kill your wife if she wants a divorce. I think that was illegal. I think that was in the Constitution, actually.
Yeah, just kill your vice president as well. It's fine.
This guy, James. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, James Monroe.
Yeah.
Hated the Constitution. He ran unopposed for second term and bought Florida for $5 million. Right?
Does that include the alligators or not?
He's basically Trump on a time machine, isn't he?
Yes.
Look at that. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Especially the Florida part. Yeah.
This is my favorite fact in the whole thing because I think $5 million is still what Florida's worth. This was fun. George Washington was the first person that we know to become a mule farmer, which is, as you guys know, is like when you cross a horse and a donkey, that you get a mule, which also means that he was also the first president of the United States and the founder of the Donkey Show.
Yeah.
Jefferson was a pioneer as well, right? Jefferson, you said, freaked out people by eating tomatoes, which wasn't a crop yet, right? So he's a pioneer. So he was eating tomatoes or tomatoes, as you say, back then was like the equivalent of eating ass, right? Which he probably did as well.
Sure. You
could probably tell who ate ass by the people that ate tomatoes, right? You could make that connection, right?
Right. Just whatever's like a tomato seed stuck in his teeth.
Yeah.
Thomas Jefferson doubled the size of the country and tripled the size of his slave population. He's a good man. He's a brilliant man.
Apparently, he was a bad dresser. You've written here.
He was what?
Yeah, he was a bad dresser, according to the facts.
Yeah.
What's that about? Like what?
I think there was an estimation that if you became president, that you would like try to show up at events in like formal gear, and he was just showing up in like Pornhub t-shirts and shorts. And they didn't appreciate that.
Amazing.
Freddy.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say Andrew Jackson. So his wife, she was technically married when he married her, like something like that. Like yeah. And then they brought that up a lot in the campaigns, and she ended up dying, and he never forgave anybody. And his vice president once said like something about it, and then he threatened to do it. Yeah, Andrew Jackson by far killed the most people of any president.
Oh, that's a fun fact. I didn't have that. I didn't have that.
People that fought in wars. Yeah, he was just out there killing. You know, being president was sort of a break from killing. For most people, it's like time to get to kill more people.
So he was a dueler. Was he a dueler? A big dueler?
Yeah, duels. Yeah.
Go ahead, Masood.
Yeah, John Adams wanted the president to be referred to as His Highness as opposed to Mr. President.
Right.
Yeah,
right. Which is probably what we'll end up calling Snoop Dogg if he was president, right?
I feel like that's a movie that needs to come out. What was fun about Adams was that he was actually the first president to live in the White House. A lot of people don't know that. So there's always that thing where like if you stay in the White House, you're supposed to stay in the Lincoln bedroom, so you can have sex in the Lincoln bedroom. But in a sense, I think John Adams probably had sex all over that house, and every room is the Adams bedroom.
Oh, nice. He also did this thing. He took a 7-month vacation. He went back to Massachusetts for 7 months while he was president.
Oh, right. They couldn't reach him, right?
Yeah. That was like going from DC or Philly or DC or whatever to Massachusetts was like going to Japan from New York now. Like it was really far away.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happened to Trump last week, right? He went golfing for 7 months and they couldn't reach him because he.
Oh, please, they'd be kindred spirits.
The only other one I had that I didn't love this joke, and it was Benjamin Franklin was a writer, inventor, philosopher who discovered the Gulf Stream, and he was adamant that two men should never cross streams. That was the other one. Okay, well, I didn't think you guys were going to go in as hard on the presidents. I appreciate that. Do you guys have any questions for Dan really quick?
Who wants to go?
Question for Dan.
So Dan, what do you think of this this new normal of doing comedy? You know, this whole virtual thing. You think there's a future? Is this the way it's going to be? And also, follow-up question. Is it less painful dying on stage like in the real world, or is it worse dying in the virtual world? What is it?
This is what I think. I think because when have you watched any of the late night the U.S. late night shows, the Tonight Show and things like that? So what's interesting is those guys, the professional guys, they're like, it seems like they're mailing it in. They're putting way less effort into it. So what we need to do as individuals in this thing is we need to have the confidence on a Zoom show of that open mic bomb comic that you know that guy that he just bombs the whole time, but after the show he's like, yo, I just crushed. Did you see that? We all need to have that confidence because there's no response. So as long as we are convinced that our Bad Thomas Jefferson joke worked, then that's all that matters. If we approach it like we're not sure and we're waiting for the comments, it's not going to go good. So I think we need to have that weird, like, hide up your ass confidence.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Question for Dan.
Oh yeah, how's dating? So you're single, right? How's dating during the COVID, man? Because I maintain. Yeah, I maintain the same level of like length from people that I did before. It's like pretty much online dating is like 7 or 8 months of just messaging someone, hi, how are you, and then never meet. So nothing's really changed that much. But now there's an excuse. I can convince myself that the reason why we're not meeting up is because global pandemic. Estella, question for Dan?
Yeah. What's your Tinder bio?
Yeah, I was trying to pull it up I knew you were gonna ask us to pull it up for you. So and maybe this might have something to do with why it's not going good. Let me check.
Yeah, let's hear it. I just wanted to add about having the unabashed confidence doing comedy online. Like, I completely relate to that as someone who just constantly has to put emotional labor into the internet with doing porn, and like you just put all this like labor in, and it's weird because you don't really get anything back.
Right, you don't know.
You're used to like bouncing off an audience, whereas like obviously in porn, like we don't have that. That would be weird.
This is yeah. Well, yeah, there's a little bit of that, right? Because you work for some tips, right? There's a little bit of that. This is fun, just to be. So I pulled up Tinder. I haven't pulled up in a while, and it says a photo tip: a smile should get their attention. So Tinder's already telling me that I'm not getting enough matches.
Fuck
so
yeah, it's already here.
Oh, here's what my profile says. Oh, I don't. Okay, so I said comedian in quarantine at Dan Frigolette stalk me. So at this point, basically my my Tinder is a holding place for getting more fans. And then I wrote down for coffee and convo, cooking, hiking, and puppy belly rubs. Will unswipe for grammatical errors. I had no idea that was my profile, but that's what it is.
Well, unswipe for grammatical errors. See that?
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah, if you throw the wrong your all that stuff, I don't want to get in there.
I agree with you actually. That's a massive turn off for me. I'm immediately like not.
Peter Pepper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
You gotta love these unsecure.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? He would as much as he could, and chuck as much wood as a woodchuck would if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Susie works in a shoe shine shop.
Is this one of those ASMR sites?
And where she sits, she shines.
Not ASMR.
Is this ASMR?
I hope he's not going to show his dick.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he?
That's my favorite one.
Was he? What was he?
I have got a date at 7:45. I'll see you at the gate, so don't be late. You know New York. You need New York. You know you need unique New York.
I don't know these ones. These ones are good. Hey, do you have any Queen
and thunk the stump stunk.
Do you have anything about leather?
The skunk stunk.
You know the leather one? Do you know anything about leather? Red leather, yellow leather, leather. Right? These are the startup.
His face looks like Dan. Been left out in the sun.
Betty Botter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my batter, it will make my batter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my batter better. So 'twas Betty Botter bought a bit of better butter.
Yeah. He's right.
That smile at the end kills me. I like it a lot. Well, that was interesting. Everybody, just a quick shout out to Lance Weiss, Party with Lance, who's been Zoom bombing for the last 4 months. He created a business. It's literally a quarantine-proof business. I think when the stock market shot up on Zoom shows, he realized he could make his a good portion of his income from Zoom bombs. So if you have a grandma's birthday coming up or anything that you have to do on Zoom, go to meetingbombs.com and Lance will bomb your family, I guess. So we appreciate that. We appreciate Lance being here. Where did I leave you guys? We never figured out with US.
It's in the bio.
We never figured out with the US. My Tinder bio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Masood, are you on the sites?
Yeah, but like you say, it's nothing has changed, with the whole online dating thing. It's the same everywhere. I mean, you've used Tinder in South Africa as well.
I use it everywhere. Do you know what I learned the most about different countries is because I use the same opening line generally, and it's not always the same, but I'll use the same opening line for like a 6-month chunk just to see what the statistics show, which is like, generally speaking, and I think it has something to do with my face. The opening line that I get from women on the internet is something that is insulting in some way, shape, or form. And I thought that was just how people were flirting now, but I realized, like, when I look at other people's pages, it's not quite that. But I think there's something about looking at me where you go, we got to take that guy down a peg. We can't let him sit where we can let his face sit where he's at. But
wait, what's your opening line though?
So there's a lot of right now, trying to think of what the one was. Oh, it used to be like, thanks for swiping on my face, because I thought that was fun and cute. But in the US, like 9 out of 10 women will respond, actually, I was swiping on your dog. So it's just not a productive, opening line.
Yeah.
And then when I did it in South Africa, they would say, I don't know what you mean, you have a very nice face. So there's something about like these imperialistic like countries, because in England and in the US, it's just constant insults to me. And in South Africa, it was very like straightforward and complimentary, which I thought was interesting. Women are very much more respectful in South Africa, I found.
We're a friendly country, Dan. We're a friendly country. We're not a shithole.
Good. I was talking to a catfish on Tinder just before this show, actually, today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found this catfish, really obvious catfish. It said...
So you trolled him?
Yeah. So it was a girl, and I won't show the picture because obviously someone's stolen pictures. And it says...
It's not in screen yet.
I'm so horny, I'm lesbian, as their profile. So I was like, this is really like a guy, like pretending. So I matched them, and I was like, right, I'm going to get them to admit that they're a guy. And I managed to get them to admit they're a guy in 6 messages.
That's great.
Yeah, it was really well,
because here's what's like so simple about a man's brain. Is like if the whole goal is to like get you to talk in some sexual way to him, all you have to do is just invite him to do that as himself. And
yeah,
like, oh shit, I
was hoping you were a guy. Like
what's fun, I used to take a girlfriend of mine's phones and try to get dudes to stop hitting on them by saying like irrational and like insulting things. And what I found was, if a dude is like trying to hit on you, nothing will deter him.
No,
there's nothing that stops a dude from trying.
Couldn't agree more.
Oh man, it's scary.
You can suggest the most disgusting and crazy thing, and he's still down. That's the other thing I realized as a man who was single, like was like, if you decided that you wanted to try and pursue a girl, from the moment that you decided that you wanted to sleep with her, nothing from that moment until it happened could deter you. Like I was talking to this girl, and while we were talking, she had some friends over and she stabbed one of these guys, and like, that should have been a red flag that like maybe I should stop trying. But I was like,
with a knife.
Yeah, she stabbed him with a knife, showed me pictures of the blood in her apartment, was sort of like bragging about it. And I was like, I was in that position where I was like, well, I mean, look, obviously this guy deserved it. Like clearly, like there's no reason why. And it was just a weird crossroads in my life where obviously I should have bailed. But I was like, nobody should should take milk without asking. I really don't think that's an acceptable way to behave. Obviously you need to stab that guy. It's not okay.
Yeah. So obviously if she's a murderer, that's not a deal breaker for you, right? No,
not at all. Not at all. Here's how I feel about murder. I think if you get murdered, that's kind of on you a little bit. Like there are no people on the planet right now that want to murder me. It's because I'm a pretty good dude, right? Like if you got murdered, it's kind of because you did something wrong, maybe. Like people are not murdering good people. Like outside of like, serial killers, which is very few and far in between, right? I also think if a serial killer was following me and like thinking about killing me and doing the research, I think at some point he would decide I was too good of a dude to murder. I do believe that. I think as long as you're a good person.
I don't know. There's also carelessness.
Give everyone one free murder, because the person you shoot with that first murder, they're a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Everyone gets one murder and that's it. Yeah, but one free murder for everyone.
Because the cops always go to the neighbor and they always go, hey, listen, can you think of anybody who would have wanted to murder Brian? And they always go, yeah, here's 3 people that probably would have murdered Brian. You're an ass. You're an asshole. You can't just be an ass all the time and expect not to be murdered. Don't be a dick and you won't be murdered. That's my take.
Who's everyone picking as their one free murder then?
Damn. I can't say for legal reasons.
Wait, what did you say?
Competition, because I have a list of 10. I have 10 enemies. So.
Oh, I thought you said Dan.
No, yeah, I thought you said Dan. Oh, okay. You're free.
Yeah. I would do an NCAA style tournament bracket to kind of. Oh, I don't know what that is, but yeah, World Cup style group stage to kind of narrow it down.
Yeah.
You have to find the winner.
What methods?
I like it too, because then it could be on the internet. Because then, what happens is if somebody else has the person you want to murder in their top, in their final 4, then you could maybe readjust your list a little bit, because you can move on to your number 2, because that person's going to get murdered anyway. You may as well do something fun with it.
Yeah, like some kind of bidding auction system.
Yeah. So you're pro. Freddie, you are pro the purge.
As long as you're only killing one person, though. Yeah, mini purge. Yeah.
Got it. Oh, Freddie, did you ever ask me a question, Freddie?
Oh, I asked you about dating in the COVID. Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, I could ask you about the 3 behind. There's a 3 mass thing behind you by the right of your head. Yeah, that thing is great. Is that handcuffs or?
That's an ohm. That's an ohm.
Oh no, I'm not Eastern.
Very peaceful corner you have here.
I'm in a very spiritual apartment, which is why I have no pants on right now.
Oh yeah, I'm wearing a bathing suit.
You give off the vibe of somebody. You're nowhere near water, I know for a fact, and you give off the vibe of somebody who wears a bathing suit as pants on a regular basis. That's what I love about you. I can't wear a bathing suit as pants. I get imprints into my lower regions.
Yeah, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable.
The mesh.
Yeah.
Oh, I lost weight, so the bathing suit's nice and loose. Bathing suit's large. I'm now medium, so it's good. I
see. All right, let me see if there's anything that you guys had prepped me on that I didn't ask you about. Freddie, I didn't quite gather how to phrase this for you, but I think you had this as your byline, that you're one-man macroeconomics team.
Yeah, I was on the macroeconomics team in high school. I'll wait till everyone gets very excited by that. And yeah, no one else joined, so I was a one-man macroeconomics team.
So then, what was the task?
There was a competition, but then the teacher didn't want to do it. It was just me hanging out with my economics teacher, and I called him coach, which he didn't really like. He was like, Fred, Fred, we should just end this thing because they're paying me to stay an extra period just for you. This macroeconomics team is so uneconomical.
Right.
And I was like, Coach, you're getting free money just to hang out with me, and you want to end this. Yeah, you, sir, are incredibly uneconomical. So he quit, and then I was on a coachless macroeconomics team.
Yeah, it turns out you should have been teaching the class.
Yeah, I had economics team. Yeah, it was just me by myself. I called myself team captain, of course.
Did you get to wear a pin? Big C on your chest?
Yeah. The problem is when you're by yourself, you don't have someone who can make stuff. Yeah, so I couldn't sew it. I needed other people on the team who could make things.
Right. That's fun. I like that. Oh wow! I didn't realize this, Masood. You had on here that people in Africa are rooting for Trump to get COVID.
Yeah,
which little inside baseball. I think a lot of countries are doing that.
You know why we have it in for him, particularly in South Africa or in Africa, is because he called us shitholes. Our countries are shitholes. Remember that?
I was there. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, he said we should. And then I don't know if you remember
of Africa country. That's I thought that was more upsetting
Yeah.
than the other thing.
Yeah, he said Africa is a shithole country.
Country,
That's
right.
what he said. Yeah. And he was suspected in the early days of the pandemic of having COVID. Do you remember? Like he was being tested and everything. And of course, people had mixed feelings about this. And well, you know how we felt. I mean, people were rooting for it, yeah, right? And then I thought to myself, this wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing for him, right? Because Trump, being the guy he is, right, would have probably boasted about how infected he was. That's the kind of thing he would do, right?
He would be like, I'm the greatest. I'm going to get past this thing. I am the greatest COVID carrier there ever was.
Yeah, they'll be like, Mr. President, is it true that you have COVID-19? And he'll be like, viruses. I have the best viruses. No one has better viruses than me. Tremendous viruses. Fantastic. The best viruses. I get them from hookers. I pass them on to people. They all die. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. Next question. No, not CNN, not fake news. Next question.
That was great.
That is an above average Trump impression. Now I understand why this question was on here.
That was great.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here. This is our 1 hour show. If you guys are watching and enjoying or watching on the back end, give us a tip, man. PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, 917-292-5441 or Venmo, CBKS Tour. Send us a tip. We'll distribute that among the crew. Do you guys have anything to plug in the meantime for how to find you, how to share your stuff? The thing we like to say is share, like, subscribe. Those are the big three for social media. If you guys are enjoying the show, share, like, subscribe. Any of the people here, guys, go around the circle, tell us how to find you, follow you, etc.
Hi, I'm everywhere at Estella_Bathory. Yeah.
So, short and sweet.
Stick to that.
Adam Freddy G on I got 10 million views on TikTok. I post a lot of jokes and stuff on Twitter, Instagram. Like I said, Adam Freddy G and Freddy G Comedy on YouTube. You can see my full stand-up set. You can subscribe. Thank you.
Okay, Masood Boomgaard. You can catch me, Masood Boomgaard, the comedian, on Facebook, and Masood_Boomgaard on Instagram. And it's a link to my special that I shot during lockdown on my Instagram bio. You can check that out.
I didn't see that. I'm excited. I'm excited for that. And then for Lance Weiss, check out meetingbombs.com. He will come and bomb your stuff. I'm Dan Frigolette. I got the podcast called Porn Stars Are People Podcast. My thing's at Dan Frigolette. And that's it. Check out these shows every Friday. We have a 5 and 8, a 10, and a midnight. We're live streaming the 5, and then the other ones are private Zooms. DM me for those informations. And yeah, if you liked what you saw, retweet us on Twitter, rebroadcast us on Twitch, and reshare us on Facebook with Comedy's Best Kept Secret Tour. Thank you to all my guests for being here, taking the time to do the silly homework I sent you. Yeah, be safe out there, guys. Cool.